The void above Earth was not silent. It throbbed with the pulse of unseen machinery, the steady hum of a warship that should not have existed in any charted system. The Vorith expanse floated like a monolith against the black, its dark metal skin absorbing the scattered light of distant stars. 10,000 alien assassins, HFYs, as the records called them, waited within, their fractal limbs coiled, their compound eyes flickering with anticipation. They were perfect predators, engineered for conquest, designed to erase a planet with the precision of mathematics. Earth, in comparison, seemed insignificant, until two humans aboard a small, nimble ship stared at the enemy's silhouette and refused to flinch. Kale's fingers hovered over the control panel of the Aegis, the ship's soft metal surface warm beneath callous skin. 42 years of battle had left him with a sharp-edged face and eyes that carried the weight of countless losses. He had seen empires crumble and planets fall, yet nothing had prepared him for the raw improbability of this mission. His voice, low and measured, broke the silence. 2 against 10,000. That's statistically insane. Iris, 27, leaned against the wall, the shadows folding around her like silk. She moved with the kind of ease that made her seem less a human and more a memory of wind itself. Her eyes, dark and alert, scanned the ship's instruments and then the empty space beyond. "Then let's make it impossible to quantify," she said, voice calm, but carrying a quiet authority that commanded attention. They had been chosen for reasons no one outside Earth's clandestine councils fully understood. Kale for his capacity to improvise in chaos, to read patterns where others saw only disorder. Iris for her ability to manipulate perception, to move through space as if it were water, leaving nothing but uncertainty in her wake. Together, they were not soldiers, not mercenaries, but vectors of possibility in a universe that preferred certainty. The HFYs operated as one, each assassin a thread in a single hive mind, their collective intelligence flowing like a river of infinite precision. Emotions were foreign to them. Unpredictability was inefficiency. Yet, it was unpredictability, improvisation, and the quiet chaos of the human heart that would be their ultimate weapon. Kale tapped a sequence into the panel, activating the holographic map of the HFYs orbital staging area around Mars. The floating structures were a grotesque architecture of living metal, walls that pulsed with faint bioluminescence, corridors that twisted geometry as if to confuse the mind itself. The first objective was simple in concept but deadly in execution: disrupt the sensor grid that fed the HFYs hive mind. Without it, coordination falters, and Earth might gain its sliver of advantage. "Look at this," Kale said, tracing a route with a trembling finger. "They've anticipated every conventional path. Every predictable move we could make is already countered. One misstep." Iris's gaze did not waver. She crouched, fingertips brushing the panel. "Predictable is for numbers. We are vectors, unmeasured. We slip between certainty and expectation." For a long moment, silence filled the cabin. Outside, the stars stared without judgment. Then the quiet was broken by a soft, synthetic whisper. The ship's AI, a new program Earth had developed, designed to interpret human emotion and convert it into tactical probability. Threat level, immeasurable. Probability of success, negligible. Recommend improvisation. Kale let out a slow breath. Improvisation, right? He stood, shoulders stiff, eyes narrowing. "Then we start. Every move counts. Every thought matters." The Aegis slipped through the shadows of Mars moon Phobos, its engines silent, a ghost among craters. As they approached the orbital nexus, the living architecture of the HFYs became clearer. Walls seemed to breathe, pulsating with organic rhythm, sensors flickering with neural-like currents. Every step carried danger, every corridor a possible death trap. Iris ran a hand along the railing, feeling the vibrations of alien life. "It's almost beautiful," she murmured. "Terrifying, but beautiful. It reacts to us." Kale glanced at her, a faint smile tugging at his lips despite the gravity of their mission. Beautiful means alive. Alive means fragile, if you know where to strike. Their first encounter came almost immediately. A patrolling sentinel, a half-machine, half-organic hybrid, emerged from a corridor, its multi-lensed eyes scanning for movement. Kale froze. Iris flowed forward, bending perception, making herself a shadow across the wall. The sentinel hesitated, its programming unable to account for deviation. Kale flicked the neurophase disruptor, a small device that would temporarily sever the hive's connection in this sector. The machine convulsed, its senses scrambled, and fell silent. Kale exhaled. 2. He nodded at Iris. 2 humans against 10,000. Somehow we begin. Iris allowed herself a brief glance at the planet below, blue and fragile. And if we succeed, maybe the galaxy will remember what 2 humans can do. The moment stretched into silence. Outside, the stars glimmered, distant and indifferent. Yet within the cabin of the Aegis, possibility thrummed like a heartbeat. 2 humans, insignificant on paper, prepared to bend an empire through wit, courage, and unpredictability. Their mission had begun. The orbital nexus pulsed with alien life, a labyrinth of metal and sinew that shifted as if breathing. Kale and Iris moved through the corridors, each step deliberate, every motion calculated to exploit the THRYNS blind spots. The neurophase device had given them a narrow window, minutes, maybe less, before the hive could recalibrate. Time was a living thing here, and it favored neither human nor THRYN. Sensors are flickering, Iris whispered, tracing the curves of a luminescent wall with her fingertips. They've detected the anomaly. We've been noticed. Kale's jaw tightened. Good. Detection is irrelevant if we move faster than prediction. One misstep, though, and it's over. He scanned the corridor ahead, the soft thrum of alien machinery echoing in the narrow space. Every pattern, every flicker of bioluminescence became a piece of a puzzle that only improvisation could solve. They encountered the first THRYN patrol. 5 sentinels moving with precision that rivaled any human tactic, their fractal limbs folding and unfolding with inhuman grace. Iris melted into the shadows, her neural reflexes bending perception. She slipped between sight lines, a shadow of thought rather than flesh, and struck the lead sentinel with a small, concussive device. The machine jerked violently, its sensors scrambled and collapsed in a heap of sparking circuits. Kale exhaled slowly, muscles coiled for the next encounter. They learn quickly, he muttered. They adapt, Iris corrected, her voice barely audible, yet carrying the weight of certainty. But only linearly. We operate across dimensions they can't see. As they progressed, the Nexus itself seemed aware of their presence. Walls shifted, corridors narrowed, bioluminescent nodes pulsed faster, almost like a heartbeat in direct response to their movement. Every misstep could alert the hive mind. Every hesitation could cost lives. And yet, in the pressure of imminent danger, Kale found a rhythm, a pattern not dictated by the aliens, but by human instinct, intuition born of experience, fear, and necessity. Suddenly, a deep, resonant voice echoed through the hall, one that carried intelligence beyond the collective. Why do you persist? Kale froze. Iris's eyes narrowed. From the shadows stepped a figure unlike the others, a THRYN commander, Vorak, whose movements were fluid but deliberate, eyes flickering with independent thought. Unlike the hive-linked assassins, Vorak could reason, could anticipate unpredictability, and yet curiosity flickered behind those alien lenses. Kale's voice was steady, though the adrenaline coiled in his chest. Because inevitability is only a concept. Probability is a suggestion. Vorak tilted his head, a gesture that felt almost human. Then teach me, he said, his tone neither threat nor invitation but observation. Iris stepped forward, silent and poised. Observation won't save you. Understanding might. Her words were sharp, and her eyes, reflecting the pulsing light, bore a weight that seemed to bend space around them. The tension was tangible, a living thing pressing against the confines of the corridor. Cale sensed it, the weight of thousands of assassins converging on a single point, and yet they were not yet visible. Their presence was a shadow, a threat encoded in every vibration, every flicker of light. He knew they would arrive, that the hive mind would adapt. And yet he also knew that human unpredictability could bend even perfect intelligence. The pair pressed forward, Iris disabling security nodes with precise, silent strikes, while Cale set charges designed to disrupt the Nexus sensor network. Each device was small, almost insignificant, yet the principle behind them, disrupting neural synchronization, could give humanity a fleeting edge. They moved like currents, invisible forces bending the environment around them, until at last the central chamber loomed ahead, a cathedral of biometal, nodes pulsating with alien consciousness. "Here," Cale whispered, scanning the chamber. "This is it. One chance to sever the hive connection and give Earth a margin of survival." Iris placed her hands on the final node, feeling the strange pulse of intelligence beneath her fingers. The connection is fragile, but intertwined with every sentinel. One misfire, and they'll retaliate instantly. Cale's eyes met hers. "Then we don't misfire. We improvise, we adapt, we survive." The words were more than encouragement. They were covenant. In this moment, two humans were more than individuals. They were the sum of ingenuity, courage, and the unpredictable force of emotion itself. They activated the neurophase device, a quiet hum building to resonance that vibrated through the Nexus. Lights flickered, nodes convulsed, and for a heartbeat, the T-Char-1's perfect synchronization faltered. It was enough. Cale stepped back, breath tight in his chest, feeling the weight of the moment press against him. It worked, but it won't last long. Iris's expression was calm, though her fingers twitched with restrained energy. "They'll recover. They always do. But in that recovery, we will be gone, somewhere they cannot anticipate." The chamber fell into uneasy quiet, the pulse of the nodes slowing as if recovering from an injury. Outside, thousands of assassins stirred, confused, their collective mind fractured, if only temporarily. The humans had done the impossible, not by strength, not by firepower, but by exploiting the one weakness no perfect system could predict, the unpredictable heart and mind of humanity. Cale exhaled, rubbing the back of his neck. 2 humans against 10,000. And yet, we've begun to turn the tide. Iris allowed herself a small, almost imperceptible smile. "Begun, yes, but the battle is far from over, and it will ask everything of us." They moved back into the shadows, preparing for the next phase, aware that every step forward would test their ingenuity, their trust, and their humanity itself. Outside, Mars glimmered cold and distant, but inside the labyrinth of living metal, 2 humans had become a force that even the galaxy had not seen coming. The neurophase device had worked, but only just. The T-Char-1's hive mind flickered, spasming with confusion, their thousands of assassins caught in a momentary paralysis that Cale and Iris could exploit, but the reprieve would not last. Outside the chamber, corridors shifted unervingly, walls pulsating with alien awareness. Every shadow might hide a sentinel, every flicker of light a trap. Yet, in that fractured moment, humanity had a chance to assert its paradoxical strength, unpredictability. Cale's eyes swept the chamber, calculating, adapting. "They're regrouping faster than I expected. The device bought us seconds, maybe a minute. We need leverage before the hive recovers." Iris's fingers brushed across the final node. She could feel it, an intelligence both alien and strangely fragile, capable of anticipation, but incapable of improvisation. "The network's semi-stable. We can manipulate it, but it will push back if we overreach." A resonant hum filled the room, low but insistent. Then, a single T-Char-1 figure emerged from the shadows. Vorak, the commander who had shown an unexpected capacity for individual thought. His presence was both threatening and curious. "You are anomalies," he said, voice vibrating against the organic walls. "Your actions are inconsistent. The hive cannot anticipate this." Kale's jaw tightened. "We don't follow the hive. We create the moment. You can't calculate intuition." Vorik tilted his head, a gesture that somehow conveyed wonder and threat simultaneously. "Then your species is dangerous." Iris stepped forward, calm, poised. "Dangerous enough to survive. Fragile enough to die if we misstep. You see the balance, we exploit it." The corridor behind them shivered as sentinels adjusted to the device's disruption. Thousands of alien limbs unfolded and retracted in a choreography of lethal intent. Kale and Iris had only one strategy left: motion, misdirection, and improvisation that could outpace even perfect coordination. Kale signaled, and Iris flowed along the walls, activating a series of small, precise detonations. Nodes of the Nexus convulsed, producing phantom signals that suggested an overwhelming human presence. The HFYs responded, fracturing into defensive clusters, chasing ghosts that did not exist. Kale moved through the chaos, his mind weaving probabilities into patterns only humans could conceive. Errors as tools, emotion as leverage, improvisation as weapon. Vorik watched silently, intrigued. He had never seen a species manipulate uncertainty with such elegance. "You bend possibility with your thoughts?" Kale's voice was steady. "Not bend, amplify. Humans are the first species to weaponize unpredictability, and we do it with the one thing you cannot measure: ingenuity shaped by emotion." The alien commander hesitated. That pause was enough. Kale and Iris initiated the final stage. They triggered a sequence of controlled collapses within the Nexus, redirecting energy flows that disabled critical nodes and severed the HFYs hive synchronization entirely. The central chamber shuddered as though in pain. Outside, the assassins faltered, disoriented, their collective mind splintering. Kale's chest heaved. It worked. They're blind, if only for a heartbeat. Iris's eyes gleamed with the quiet certainty of action completed. A heartbeat is enough. Now we slip through, leave nothing but uncertainty behind. They moved quickly, slipping past sentinels that now lacked coordination, their steps ghost-like, precise, undetected. The living corridors seemed to pulse in protest, but the humans moved as currents, bending light, shadow, and probability in equal measure. Vorik, separated from the hive but still curious, called after them. "You survive because you are unpredictable, but survival is fleeting. You cannot outlast 10,000 forever." Kale glanced back, a flicker of respect in his eyes. "Outlast? No. We survive long enough to change the game." As the Aegis cleared the Nexus and slipped into orbit, Kale and Iris looked back at the planet below, blue and fragile. The hive mind of 10,000 assassins remained intact in theory, but its synchronization had been fractured. For the first time, Earth had space to maneuver, to think, to fight another day. Iris leaned against the console, voice soft. 2 humans against 10,000. And yet we've done it. Kale allowed himself a faint smile, the first in hours. Not we. Humanity. A brief silence filled the cabin, the hum of the ship now the only sound. Outside, the stars glittered with indifferent beauty. Within the Aegis, 2 humans carried the weight of a species on the edge of annihilation, proving that imperfection, emotion, improvisation, creativity could outmatch mechanical perfection. Vorik's voice came one final time, transmitted through the disrupted network, quiet and contemplative. "Your species cannot be predicted. Perhaps. I will learn from this." Kale exchanged a glance with Iris, an unspoken understanding passing between them. This mission had been about survival, but it had also been about revelation. The galaxy had underestimated humans, and humans had shown that their greatest strength was neither weapons nor numbers, but mind, heart, and the capacity to adapt in ways no algorithm could foresee. Iris exhaled slowly, fingers brushing the console. "We've made them uncertain. And uncertainty is our advantage. Kale nodded, looking at the distant blue curve of Earth. A single heartbeat, a single decision, it changed everything. We are not invincible, not immortal, but we are human, and that is enough. The Aegis sailed on into the silent void, two tiny figures against the vast darkness, carrying the unquantifiable force of human ingenuity. Behind them, the fractured hive faltered, its perfect order disrupted by what it could not anticipate. The chaotic, adaptive, unpredictable spark of life that called itself human.